after taking a week off last week for just having a week off last week, but we return here at Michigan, and after a very close finish at Pocono, we're expecting pretty much the same here again here tonight with the Western States Racing League here on ESPN, the Esports Broadcaster Network. My name is Sam Cooper Bennett here in the booth. Good evening to everybody that's out there watching. Going to be looking forward to this one. Joining me in the booth as always, and making his return after missing the last race with WSRL, is Mr. Frank Marchese. Frank, you missed a close one last time out. It's going to be just as close this time around, I feel.
I did miss a very close race, and a great race at that. Tonight, I think, you're right, is going to be even better. We have a massive field. I think our last count was 32 trucks in the field here tonight, so this is going to be one hell of a show at a very big, very fast track.
That indeed, as they are just ticking over, about 4 minutes left in practice here. We're looking at the man that won last time out, Jeff Schmeier. And I'll tell you what, and before we get to Jeff Schmeier, yeah, it is Jeff Schmeier. I'm losing my mind again already, and it's not even started the race yet. No, we're actually looking at Rob Gall, who's got Bob Beltrami right behind him. And speaking of Bob Beltrami, we're going to take have a quick word about the championship points here, as it's coming down to it, and the heat is getting stronger here, Frank. 7 races to go, and between the top 5 in points, there's literally nothing in it.
Yes, a lot of close battles all throughout the point standings, and you're right, with 7 races to go, that's less and less and less opportunities to go and win a title. Bryan Barns in the number 4 holds on to a 7-point lead in the championship over Bob Beltrami in the 14. So that's a big one to watch out for. We're going to be seeing both of them up racing somewhere around the front here tonight. But yeah, with less and less races in the calendar coming up, less and less opportunities to get those points that are so desperately needed. Especially, and looking back at it, we can see through this time last year, Bryan Barnes is going for at least his third championship in a row on Tuesday nights. They run 2 leagues. They run trucks on Friday, on Tuesday night. I believe it's Cup on Friday night. So Bryan Barnes trying to win his 3rd consecutive, at least as far back as we can see, 3rd consecutive Tuesday night championship.
And that would be an unprecedented feat there for the driver, but he's got a massive challenge ahead of him this time. Bob Beltrami, since we've started broadcasting this league, Frank, he's been slowly but surely picking up more and more momentum. And the drivers behind him, they're picking up steam as well. Obviously, Marty Ray in 3rd place. Dennis Fuson, now he's the shock that's in this top 5. Not picked up a win yet this season, but he's been picking up those top 5s and top 10s very frequently, and that's what's put him in that position here, Frank.
And if you go over to our Sunday night league at MPI, their points leader, Garrett Brown, just Mr. Consistency, always finishing up at the top, never has a bad race, only has 1 win. Fuson in the 11 is certainly in that realm where we always see him hovering in between that top 5 and top 10 bracket, putting together good finishes, and that is what has kept him in this championship hunt.
Yeah, and he's right there, and obviously Jeff Schmeier is up there as well. He's going to be looking to close that gap down. He won last time out at Pocono, just stole it at the line from Bryan Barnes. So going to be interesting to see other drivers that are in this field tonight. We're going to be taking a quick look at, as I believe they're making their debut here tonight. We've got Brian Sullivan, who's currently in pit road. We've got Ron Holyfield, who's also in pit road, and we've also got Brandon Sauls, who's right there just coming out of pit road right now.
Yep, Brandon Sauls in the 76, currently the slowest one on the chart right now, at a 40.327. Could be holding something back though. But we've seen a lot of this going on, how guys coming into leagues not wanting to make a bad impression, so just kind of stay out of the way. This is going to be their feel-out race, and it's a nice track to do it at. It's a big, wide, fast track to do it at.
Other drivers that are making the first runs on our screens here tonight, at least, are Keith Hovde. We've also got Tate Lightly in the field, and I believe Chad Barker making his debut here tonight as well.
Yeah, so a good amount of debuts. I believe Brandon Saul's actually taking the track right now in that number 76 Chevrolet.
He is, but we're going to go to... Yeah, so we're going to go to Earl Weaver. He's the first driver to come out on track right now, and for some reason, Pen and Paint isn't working for me right now, so that's just great.
He's going right back into the box.
Yeah, so we're going to go to Gary LaViolette. Or LaViolette? No.
LaViolette. You were
LaViolette.
Right.
Yeah, so here's Gary LaViolette just starting his qualifying run here. Let's put his driver info up there and see what current lap he can put down for these guys right here. Let's bring up the ticker as well, as we always like to do during these things when it wakes up. There we go.
First time lap for LaViolette, and this is, again, I just mentioned, this is a very wide, very fast track in the trucks, especially with the aero package and being down on power from the Cup cars and the Xfinity cars. You can hold it wide open here for a decent amount of time. Now, later in the run, you're going to have to let off, especially in 1 and 2, because that wall coming out of 2 and onto the backstretch really comes at you as LaViolette puts down a 40.264 for his first lap. That's the first in. Oh, that's going to put him slowest on the board right now. Brandon Sauls, Carl Burke goes to the top.
Yeah, as what time in the scoring is frozen, so just bear with me 1 second.
So Bentley Glazer at the top right now to 39.952. We were seeing 39.3s during the practice session, but that was with a lot of draft. These things really pick up a lot of speed in the draft as Glazer heads through 3 and 4, a little bit lower than you're probably going to be seeing a lot of drivers here tonight. And as a matter of fact, he's going to bring it right into pit lane. So Bentley Glazer feels as though he's one and done. Carl Burke slower on his second lap. Wayne Hutchinson goes up to third at a 40.035. Brandon Sauls at the 76 up there at a 40.035 as well. So the 28 and the 76 have tied for third position. So far, Bentley Glazer, the only one that has been able to crack that 40-second barrier.
Absolutely. So Hutchinson up to third place in the qualifying session, as for some reason I decided to close my trading paints. That's just silly on my part. Paul Hoffman, though, he was one of the fastest out there in practice before. Let's see what he can put down this time. As oh, for goodness sake, as yeah,
Hoffman going into turn 1. Right now, he has finished his times. His best lap is a 40.071. That actually ties him with Ron Holofield in the 7. And we've just seen the 56 of Tate Lightly go up to P2.
Yeah, and he's just pulled out to one side. His qualifying run is done now. We're going to go to Barry Phil, who's out on track as well now. Let's take a look and see what he can do. Again, my timing and scoring is freezing, so I love it when timing and scoring does this to me. Great.
Barry Phil coming out of turn number 4 onto the start line. Puts it 17th with a 40.109. Phil really washing up the track in 2, and that could definitely happen. Going to be seeing that all race long. Drivers pushing up the circuit. coming out of turn 2. That pretty much killed this second lap.
Yeah, but let's see what he can put down anyway as he comes down to the apron across the line. 1.244. I mean, he didn't lose too much, even though he did run wide. As we've got nobody else out on track right now. David Wood is out there, but I believe he's finished his qualifying run.
Bob Beltrami's just pulled it off after being the second car to break the 39-second barrier to 9.67, so about 14 hundredths off, 15 hundredths off the pole.
Yeah, something like that. Just bear with me, folks. I'm just having a few issues here tonight, so...
So Jeff Schmeier sitting at the end of pit lane, Wayne Fleet, Bryan Barnes, Signore, Kelman, Stussy, Woods, Dustin Burns, Brian Sullivan, and Ray Fournier have not put in times yet, and none of them are on track right now.
Stussy's coming out.
Signore and Stussy in the 78.
Now he's got plenty of time to get a time in. There's still 4 minutes left in the session, so Stussy very gingerly coming out of pit road there on the apron, as they have to do. They cannot merge up on the track before that blue cone, and Stussy obviously sticking to the rules and finally picks up speed as he comes down the backstretch here.
Yeah, and if you do, even if it's the slightest little twitch and your back end gets out on the track before that blue line, that's a black flag and your laps do not count until you reset the car. So that's we've seen it be an absolute killer during some of these races. So a big thing to pay attention to.
As Stussy crosses the line to start his qualifying run, we're going to go to the man that stole everything last week, and that's this man in the 22, Jeff Schmeier, just starting his qualifying run now. Frank, he's got a couple of pole positions after starting late in qualifying. Let's see if he can do it again here.
It is nice to go later in qualifying. The track, I mean, if you were running all together, the track would be a little bit more rubbered in towards the back end of qualifying, but now he can see what time he needs to beat and how good he needs to be, and that's kind of how I always like doing it, is to see what my benchmark is instead of just going out there for him.
Yep, as he comes out of turn 4, he's going to go down, not to the apron yet, now he does, as he crosses the line, and where's this one going to put him? At 39.943.
Right to the top.
Yep, straight to the top of the board, and yeah, he's done it again as the points leader's out on track, as well as Sean Signore, but we're going to go keep an eye on Jeff Schmeier, see if he can better that second lap. Though nobody's been able to do it yet so far, so let's see if he can actually be the first driver to do it tonight, as Signore's just started his qualifying lap.
Barnes just crossed the line to start his first hot lap as well in the 4.
And Schmeier abandoned his second lap.
As you would kind of expect, really, once you got the pole, there really is nothing more to gain. You could try to put a little bit of gap down, but both Signore and Barnes. Signore is a little bit further along on the first lap than Barnes.
Yeah, here is Signore coming out of turn 4 there, just running a bit of a high line there, coming down towards the start-finish line as he crosses the line, and that's a 39.950 for Signore. And that will put him P2. So good time for him. Let's see what Bryan Barnes can do.
Wow, only a 40.3 for Barnes. My goodness.
P26 for him. Now this is where he needs to be careful, because if he's qualifying down the field and with as many drivers as there are, we've got 33 drivers now. As we've had another driver join very late in the session. If he gets a bad finish out of this is going to really badly put him out of the points in respect to the championship.
It'll certainly put him behind the 8 ball, especially with Beltrami starting in 4th. His second lap will put him up to 8th, so there's a little bit more respectable from the 4. Might have just taken the outside line to try to build that momentum for the first lap.
Yeah, so Bryan Barnes up to P8 now after his qualifying run here at Michigan. Now, he's right up there in that top 10. His closest, his championship challenger, Bob Beltrami, is up there in 3rd place. So that is going to be Barnes' target. But his other championship challenger, Marty Ray in P14. But Jeff Schmeier, the man that could literally come out of nowhere and steal it all at the end of the season, is on the pole as things stand right now. And I think it's going to stay that way as qualifying comes to an end here. So that is it for qualifying. So with that, let's go to the grid for tonight's race. And starting up on the pole will be Jeff Schmeier. He'll be joined in that front row by Sean Signore. Row 2 will be Bentley Glazer and Bob Beltrami. Row 3 will be Tate Lightly and Jeffrey Schloss, who's just come out of nowhere. Late entry into the session, comes puts a time down and gets P6. Row 4 will be Carl Burke and Bryan Barnes, and row 5 will be Wayne Hutchison and Brandon Souls. Row 6 will be Rob Gall and Nick Kuhn. Row 7 will be Jeff Hollingsworth and Marty Ray, and row 8 will be Anthony Erskine and Chad Barker there, Frank.
Yeah, row 9 will be Ron Holofield and Paul Hoffman. Row 10, Earl Weaver and Charles Woods. Barry Phil and Dustin Burns make up row 11. David Wood and David Weaver in row 12. Dennis Fuson, who we were talking about before, will start in the 13th row alongside Gary Laviolette. Row 14, Dan Stussy and Keith Hovde, who was the last one to set a time. Beyond that, it will be Ray Fournier, Keith Kelman, Eric Woods, Wayne Fleet, and Brian Sullivan rounding out the 33 driver field. And something to keep an eye on, during that qualifying session, Brandon Sauls did manually disconnect, and he has not yet returned.
So, interesting situation there, as for some reason... Okay. That's not good. Oh, there it is. My timing and scoring disappeared for a second then. It like literally, when the screen went blank, you know, the timing screen, it just went blank. So... Oh, how I love these kind of things. But anyway, the field starts rolling away and we are ready to go racing here. Now, Frank, this is another different dynamic when it comes to these guys. What are you expecting out of this one here tonight?
A lot of close pack style racing. You do have to let off because there's going to be a lot of aero push coming off the back end of the truck in front of you. But I'm expecting a very close and tight race here tonight. If you thought that the MPI race, our first broadcast with them here at Michigan, which was the most recent as well, was close and tight racing, these trucks with this aero package and this, just the way these trucks handle normally, it's going to be even tighter than that.
Now, I just want to point out, Jeffrey Schloss, very late into the session, no practice at all, just comes in, puts in a qualifying time down. Is that going to hurt him as the race progresses, or does he feel like he knows that he's got this track nailed down here already?
It's not a difficult track, and I believe this was a part of the official series not that long ago. The only thing that really could hurt him that I would be worried about is racing around the other guys. That's about it.
So here we go. Pace truck is off in towards pit road. We're about to get going here for the 14th round of the Western States Racing League as they come down to the line. Green flag will fly, and we are racing here at Michigan as they come flying down to turn 1. Jeff Schmeier will lead them down there, and here we go, Frank. Let's see how these guys handle it. 33, actually 32, because it looks like
Sauls hasn't returned.
Yeah, Sauls has not returned, so unfortunately there for Sauls. So here we go, as here comes Brendan Glazer in towards turn 3. Gonna take a look as Ray Fournier not taking the start either.
Yeah, that's interesting for Fournier. Is now Signore now looking towards the inside, as I believe it's the 56 of Tate Lightly on the outside lane, really pushing Jeff Schmeier, and I honestly don't remember seeing Tate Lightly in any of the broadcasts we've done for Western States. So this might be a debut, and it might be a big one as he goes right from the outside straight to the inside to make it 3 wide for the lead.
Yeah, my stuff is frozen up again. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
Trying to make a big impression is Lightly, the 56, trying to get to the lead. Jeff Schmeier and Bentley Glazer trying not to let that happen. It was Glazer who led that lap. Lightly on the outside lane, trying to work as they head out of turn 2. Bob Beltrami in the 14 has now gotten into this group, goes from the inside to the outside. Right in front of the 53 of Carl Burke, who's up there now as Tate Lightly in the 56 gets clear of Bentley Glazer for the lead coming out of 4.
Again, apologies. I am dealing with a couple of technical issues, so just bear with me for a second.
Glazer to the outside lane now. Schmeier to the inside, has that 56 right in front, goes 3 wide on the inside lane. Schmeier not quite there, but that dive and the momentum on the inside line, he's going to have to back off and let that 56 go by. Still running 2 by 2 as they head down the front straightaway. Still Tate in the lead in that 56 Busch Chevrolet. Up at the front, trying to block both lanes, and successfully does going into turn 1 there, getting back down in front of the 22 of Jeff Schmeier as they head onto the back straightaway. Trying to play both halves against the middle, as somebody in this broadcast booth would normally say, as they head down the back and into 3.
Not me. Anyway.
Go ahead.
I think I got everything fixed now, so. Anyway.
We'll blame Parker Bland for this one.
Yeah, Parker Bland, it's your fault. Anyway, Tate Lightly to the point as well, with Bentley Glazer right to his outside there. Jeff Schmeier, Carl Burke making his way up there into the top 5 now there, Frank. That's a nice surprise to see there for the 53.
Yeah, seen him move up a little bit, and that running in 4th the last time they crossed the line. Started in 7th, he's moving up. Marty Ray has moved up from 14th. He's in 9th. Paul Hoffman from 18th to 12th. So we're seeing big movers all throughout.
We've lost Sean Signore somewhere.
He's having connection issues. He's having quite a bit of them.
Yeah, he's dropped again. So big problems there for Sean Signore. He is out already.
He's come back in. There's somebody else up here, I believe.
I think it's Schloss, isn't it?
Yeah, Schloss in the pink Superflow Toyota knockoff, of course, of the movie Days of Thunder. He's having a lot of connection issues tonight.
As we're looking at the battle here now, Jeff Schmeier making his way to the front. He's got Tate Lightly to his outside as they come down across the line. Bentley Glazer giving Lightly the biggest push of all to make sure he stays out in front, and now Lightly has the clear, and Lightly will come down right in front of Schmeier as they come out of turn 2 and will retake the lead. But look at Schmeier just going to try and cross him over immediately as they come down the what used to be the 3M backstretch, but now it's just the backstretch.
Now Schmeier does have that run to the inside, and a big moment for Lightly as he gets loose. He's in the wall in 3 and 4. And there goes Barnes, the point leader.
And there goes another one. That's Jeff Hollingsworth around as well. Caution will fly.
Well, a lot of things happen quickly there.
And it all started with the stack up from Tate Lightly. Now we're going to go back to that incident with Lightly and try to assess exactly what happened here. It looked like Lightly got out of shape, and then it all just went downhill from there.
Hollingsworth pushes up, clips the 4, and takes the 4 out. And then Hollingsworth continues to push up the track and then takes himself out off the front bumper.
Yeah, you see it right there. Bryan Barns going for a spin there. And
Barnes lucky to not hit anything, so he's just mildly inconvenienced at this point.
Jeff Hollingsworth getting the worst of that one. I think they do have a fast repair, so we can get back in and fix that thing.
Yeah, they do have one fast repair, unlimited tire sets here for this race.
One man taking advantage. That one was Marty Ray, moving up to 3rd place when at the fall of the yellow flag there. So Marty Ray, you know, if Bryan Barnes has a bad finish here tonight, Marty Ray will be right there to pounce and take away 2nd place from. Well, Beltrami will take away 1st place, but Ray will be right there to take away 3rd place if Barnes has a bad finish like it, and if things carry on the way they've already started tonight.
It certainly hasn't been a great start for the 4, and again, that's nothing of his doing. Just had a stack up and unfortunately got spun out, but fortunately didn't hit anything, so he still does have that fast repair in his back pocket.
Carl Burke winning the race off pit road there. Only took 2 tyres. Not really sure how that's going to play in the long run. We know Michigan is very tough on the tyres here. 2 tyres, good idea?
This early in the race, yes. This way you at least have some sort of knowledge on how the car is going to feel to where maybe you can make that decision again a little bit later on. This early in the race, yes, I think 2 tires is fine. This place does eat up tires, but it eats up those right sides. The only thing you really have to worry about with Burke on the 2 tires is spinning the tires off the restart, and that's about it.
So Paul Hoffman decided to stay out in that number 3 Dale Senior inspired Chevrolet, but he's going to bring it down to pit road right now. So just wanted to get that lap led. Carl Burke will assume the lead here, with Bob Beltrami in 2nd, Marty Ray in 3rd, Jeff Schmeier in 4th. If you're Bryan Barnes, that picture up at the front is not a very pretty one to see at all.
No, not at all, especially after now all this work you have to do. Barnes has fallen all the way back. He continues to fall back. Timing and scoring finally stops him in, I believe, 29th position, which is 2nd to last of the cars that are actually running right now. So that's a big fall and a huge undertaking that 4 has to deal with tonight.
As we go back to the front of the field here, Carl Burke going to have the control of the field when we do go back to green here. The lights are off on the pace truck. Frank, for the first time tonight, you can get us going?
Yes, I will, as Carl Burke leading Bob Beltrami on that outside row. Just another update on Sean Signore in the 17. Signore has had another throughput issue and has not returned from that. It's been a couple of minutes now. So unfortunately, connection issues plaguing the driver of the 17 again this season, and he will not return. At least he has not made an attempt to return for a 2nd time. So off circuit goes the pace truck. Carl Burke on the inside has control and takes off early, as you would kind of expect. And we are racing here at Michigan again with the battle for 2nd between Beltrami and Marty Ray.
Yeah, and you can see the 53 there just controlling things going into turn 1. Here comes Marty Ray to the inside of Bob Beltrami. That outside line not working to the favour of the guy starting 2nd as here comes Bob Beltrami. Big crossover coming out of turn 2, almost contact with Marty Ray. But here comes Jeff Schmeier, Bentley Glazer, and that looks like Rob Gall up there as well. Good run for him, and Wayne Hutchinson up in the top 7 as well. Good run for him so far.
There goes Carl Burke around.
Oh no, Hutchinson involved.
Oh, Bentley Glazer, there's Fuson involved, the 7's around. Oh, and somebody just T-boned. There was the 29. Just T-boned the 53.
And we've got to go back. Oh.
He got loose, and Jeff Schmeier is going to be saved here because he blinked at that exact moment, and if he didn't do that, he would have been involved in this as well.
I'm just talking about Wayne Hutchinson having a good run. He got a big piece of it. Fuson got a piece of it. Ron Holyfield got a big piece of it as well. And the 29 of Dustin Burns. Oh, it wasn't the 29.
That's Anthony Erskine in the 29.
Erskine. That was. I mean, I'm not usually one to criticize, but he could have backed off a bit more than that. He had way more than enough space behind him.
Yeah, but you do have to worry about that guy behind you that's not paying attention, and knowing that you have a fast repair in your pocket kind of makes that a little bit easier to do.
Yeah.
But still, that's unfortunate, and I think that's probably the last of the lucky charms that the 22 has used here tonight, because he blinked right at the perfect moment for Carl Burke to spin and then hit the
a lot of people with connection issues tonight. This is going to be an issue if more people are suffering the same problem. One man that has been saved, though, is this man, Bryan Barns. Because of multiple trucks involved again, he's been promoted up to second place. Not second place, 11th place, sorry. So, what looked like a bad picture has turned into a pretty nice one now for Bryan Barns.
Yeah, it just goes to show how quickly the tide can turn and how quickly everything can change, as the driver of the 4 was looking at having to pass literally the entire field, and now a lot of them are sitting in his rearview mirror.
Yeah, as we're looking at Bryan Barns there, just coming through 3 and 4. We're on lap 14 of 80 here. And it's this man that's leading proceedings right now. That's Bob Beltrami with Marty Ray right behind him. Rob Gall in 3rd. Chad Barker up to P4. Good run for him so far. I shouldn't say that, because last time I said that, the person that I was speaking about got wrecked. So
just trying to go through some of the guys that have had connection issues tonight here. The 22 has had issues. I'm surprised, unless I haven't noticed it, Bentley Glazer is known for having connection issues around here.
He's been pretty solid so far.
Yeah, he's been fine. I can't think of anything. The 023 just throughputed. 17's had issues tonight. So there are a fair amount of drivers that have had issues.
Yeah, as they are 2x2 once again, lights are off of the pace truck. We are ready to go racing once again. Now, we're going to be seeing a pretty big switch up in drivers as this race progresses. Some going backwards, some going forwards. One driver that's come back forwards again after taking his fat repair, Jeff Hollingsworth, already back up to P7, so keep an eye on him. But at the moment it's Bob Beltrami and Marty Ray that are leading the front row as they come through 3 and 4. And we are ready to go racing once again here at Michigan. Let's see if we can get some green flag runs in this time.
Hopefully. And just really quick before we go back to racing, Carl Burke and Erskine are both back on track, 1 lap down. So
they are back in it, as well as Beltrami control of the field, gets him running once again. We are racing once again here at Michigan as they come flying off towards turn 1. I'm still seeing a lot of drivers blinking in the back of the field there. I'm not sure if it's a server issue that's causing a lot of people to do that.
Tonight's been a bad night here for the server.
It has, as Marty Ray gets displaced by Rob Gall. Up to 2nd place now is the 31. And Chad Barker needs to be careful because he's got Charlie Woods right behind him. Charles Woods has moved his way forward. And good to see him up there in the USPS number 40.
Yeah, and a couple of guys that we don't usually see up towards the front. That's the 27 of David Wood and David Weaver. And Earl Weaver, pardon me, in the 46 are at the back end of this lead group here. Nice to see some new faces up here at the front.
Bryan Barns has already moved up 2 spots on that restart. He's up to P9 now. He's got ahead of Jeff Schmeier and David Weaver as they come down the backstretch. As more blinking for Schmeier.
Yeah, he's going to have an issue here fairly soon. I fear for him. See how close Barnes got to that back straightaway wall coming off a 2 there. That was incredibly close.
Well, there is a theory that if you get as close to the wall as possible, you get more speed out of the truck. So maybe that's what he was trying to do. But here we go, 3 wide for the lead, and Marty Ray just making a power move through the middle there and pushing his truck out in front. That Ford F-150 really on rails here tonight. They come down the backstretch here. We've got it all to play for between the drivers, and look at Jeff Hollingsworth on the outside of Rob Gall now as Gall made an attempt to take the lead now. Looks like he might be about to fall back to P4 here now as he fights back against Hollingsworth coming out of turn 4, and they're going to be side by side down towards the line, but it's Marty Ray that's going to lead his first laps of the night.
Yeah, Marty Ray, the winner back at the timeout race in Texas, back up here at the front. We've seen him as kind of a fixture up at the front in the beginning of the runs, not so much at the later stages. Nice to see him up here, and now Rob Gall bringing the fight right back to Bob Beltrami in the 31.
Yeah, he's shaking off Jeff Hollingsworth and fancies the chances of making his way back forward again. Beltrami runs a bit wide coming through 3 and 4. As Hollingsworth getting close to the wall there as well, as everybody pretty much single file now in this pack.
Yeah, they're pushing these cars and really running the tires off of these things early. If we get a long green flag run here, we're going to see a lot of shuffling, especially up here at the front of this field.
Yeah, as they come down the backstretch again. We're on lap 20 of 80, so we are pretty much at quarter distance here. As there goes Rob Gall taking a peek to the inside, and that's going to let Jeff Hollingsworth come back on the attack on the outside through turn 4. As Beltrami goes up to defend of Hollingsworth, he needs to be careful. Don't leave that gap open for Rob Gall. He's been very, very threatening on that bottom line here tonight, Frank.
And for Gall, that's a situation, unfortunately, where an attack becomes a defense. And just flip reverse that for Beltrami as his defense of Gall turned into an attack on Marty Ray. They're side by side for the lead here, 2 rows deep. As now Woods and the 26 of Barker now battling it out behind him.
Yeah, Charlie Woods and Chad Barker. And Barker, one of the new names, he almost gets taken out by Earl Weaver there as he cuts across his nose. And that could have ended badly. David Wood right there. Bryan Barns has joined the pack at the back of this pack, as well as Jeff Schmeier, but Schmeier still having those connection issues, and Wayne Hutchison and Bentley Glazer's fallen well back to the back of this pack, but he's still well in the draft right here, Frank.
Yeah, we're noticing there's not a lot of positions changing hands in the middle or the back of this field. Everyone's just kind of staying put. It's the front of the pack where you got to watch here as Hollingsworth now goes for the lead after taking the fast repair.
And there he goes to the outside of the 65 as they come down through the tri-oval. And Hollingsworth will get that lap led, so give that one to the 97. As they come into turn 1. As almost banging doors, they're coming through turn 2. And that's what I like about this league. They keep it, they race hard, but they race clean.
Yeah, that was Marty Ray really driving the truck into turn 1, and unfortunately it's going to hurt him on exit and down the back as Hollingsworth is able to clear away before they get into turn 3. But this is what a lot of people would say is the problem with these trucks, especially when you're driving them. You can't really get out and break away from somebody. This is really, it's going to be a packed race, this entire race. and the lead really isn't somewhere you want to be unless you have a really good truck.
Yeah, as Beltrami is still trying to hold off Rob Gall there, and that's a battle all by itself as they come down the backstretch once again.
Marty Ray to the lead now.
Yeah. Ray not wasting any time and making his way back to the front there. He's definitely determined to stay there as we've got another driver that's making his way forward. Earl Weaver up to the top 5 now.
I was just going to say, look at Earl Weaver. We're used to seeing him in that 10 to 15 range. He's now up in the 1 to 5 range in that number 46, trying to hold off Barker in the 26 on the outside lane.
Yeah. As they come out of turn 2, they've got a pretty sizable gap over Tate Lightly now, who's leading that second pack with Nick Kuhn, Dennis Fuson, Keith Hovde, who started on the back row of the grid. He's up there in P16. Ron Holyfield, who's taking a fast repair in P17. David Weaver in 18th now. Barry Phil in 19th. Keith Kelman in P20. Then you've got Stussy, La Violette, Dustin Burns and Eric Woods in P24. You've got Ray Fournier, last driver on the lead lap there in P25. So 25 drivers still on the lead lap here, Frank.
Yeah, and these guys are rolling. My goodness, Hollingsworth just about caught Wall, and Barker wild down the back straightaway. His car almost completely out of control.
That dog bear number 26 really getting out of shape there, coming through down the backstretch, and Beltrami with connection issues now.
Yeah, just seeing that too. Beltrami flickering a little bit. That Schmeier in the background still. Wayne Hutchinson bringing up the rear of this group. But now it's kind of turned into a three-car break with Ray, Beltrami, and Hollingsworth. Barker is really low on this racetrack, and that's a great way to burn the tires and to get a really good push going. You don't want to be down on that very bottom line. You want to be above that bottom seam on this racetrack. Kind of where you see the 46 right now on the inside lane. That's where you want to be. That's where there's more banking.
Now, we just seen a problem there for Rob Gall. Got it all wrong going through 1 and 2 and fell right back down the field. He's now down in P8 now. As we're looking at the lead battle, this is the 3-car breakaway, or 3-truck breakaway, I should say, with Marty Ray leading, Bob Beltrami in second, Jeff Hollingsworth in third. And you've got Chad Barker in fourth. And these guys are just all scrambling behind him to try and get the best position they can. Not exactly staying in line here, are they?
Yeah, no, we were talking before about the front of the field having a lot of action, the middle and back of this pack not really fighting all that much. That's completely flip turned around as Bentley Blazer in the 87 trying to get past David Wood in the 27. That would be a battle for the 6th position. You get a great run off the outside lane in these trucks, and that's helping these guys hold on going down the back.
As they come out of turn 2 once again, we are still seeing this battle here. Chad Barker all by himself, might I add, and just probably having a tiny bit of draft from the guys in front of him. All by himself, getting away from that pack behind him. Earl Weaver up to P5 now, and he's got David Wood right behind him. So, again, more of these drivers that you wouldn't normally expect to be at the front are really creeping their way forward now. Bryan Barns is still in P9, but he's still in with a shout as well.
Yeah, and don't look now while this front group is kind of breaking apart and fallen off, broken apart and fallen off. Tate Whiteley has brought that second group back up to these guys. He's caught the 40 of Charles Woods, and now they're going to start really battling here.
Now he's brought the 19 Skull Bandit of Nick Kuhn with him. Same for Dennis Fuson. Dennis Kiefer Hovde, then Ron Holyfield right there, and then he's going back about another 1.6 seconds to Dan Stussy, who's battling there big time with David Weaver and Barry Phil. The 07 of Keith Kelman just watching proceedings in front of him as this race really settling down now. We are getting ever closer to halfway here, Frank.
Yeah, we certainly are. We got, 50 laps to go in this race, and I'll tell you what, the guy who's impressing me right now looks like he has the fastest truck on the track. That 26 of Chad Barker has up and left that middle group and has been driving right up to the back bumper of the top trio. He has been faster than them every lap for about the last 4 or 5 laps now.
Yeah, look how much of a gain he's just made out of turn 4 there. That is a massive haul of time he's just pulled out of those 3. And now he's going to be right on the back of them as they're going towards turn 1. And that's the amazing effect you can have. Once you catch that draft, it just sucks you right in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the best lap we saw in practice was a 39.3, like a mid 39.3. Pole was a 39.9. So that's a huge differential in speed from draft to being alone. And still, the 26 had draft pulling him from behind, pulling him back. Then he broke away from that draft and was able to catch the draft of the 3 in front. So his car is just quick on merit.
Yeah, as Beltrami has reeled in Marty Ray once again. Marty Ray got away for a second there, about half a second with the rope, but Beltrami able to reel him in pretty quickly, saying, I don't think so, you're not getting away from me that easily.
No, and Earl Weaver has gotten the lead of that second, that bigger group. That group has settled down, and they're starting to march their way back up to the front. It's like watching a race at Daytona or Talladega. You get in a single file line, and all of a sudden you start gaining on the guys in front.
Yeah, Bentley Glazer, P6 with the damage and all. He didn't use his fast repair when he got that damage from the contact earlier on in the race, and now it's kind of working in his favor. I mean, this isn't like Talladega where it's very draft dependent, but there's still a lot of draft there. So I'm actually surprised that Bentley Glazer is still able to keep it up there with that very heavy right front damage.
And Glazer does have some right front damage. Bryan Barns has right rear damage from the first caution, just getting hit. Schleier's still hanging around there, but now this pack might start to break up a little bit and slow down as Glazer looks to the inside of Earl Weaver to try to take over that 5th position. Meanwhile, Hollingsworth and Beltrami are battling it out for 2nd.
Yeah, and these two need to be careful because Chad Barker is right there and he is stalking both of them as they come down the backstretch on lap 35 of 80. Chad Barker might, if they come to blows, Chad Barker's going to be there to pick up the pieces. As now the battle commences as Jeff Hollingsworth puts a power move on Beltrami and moves up to 2nd.
Yep, that's just a little bit more speed, a little bit more power, a little bit more grip coming out of that 97 right now, as this is about to become a 17-car fight for the lead as Marty Ray and Marty Ray and Charles Woods in the 40, separated by just 3 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, Charles Woods has fallen all the way back right behind Keith Hovde. Dan Stussy, that little pack at the end there, that's really broken apart though. Stussy in 18th, Kelman in 19th, but you're going back to about half a second to La Violette, and then Eric Woods is back there as well. Another 3 seconds back off La Violette. La Violette actually has Carl Burke for company, and Burke is 1 lap down. He is in the lucky dog spot, so if a caution does come out between now and the end of the race, he will move up back onto the lead lap.
He will, is now just getting back up to the front. There's been a shake-up. Hollingsworth has taken the lead. Marty Ray now fighting Beltrami off for that 2nd position. Now Bentley Glazer has taken the lead of that 2nd group and is now starting to drive away from them, as Bryan Barnes and Tate Lightly in the 56 on the inside lane they're now starting to fight each other for 5th position.
Yeah, and I'm surprised nothing's been said to Jeff Schmeier about his connection issues, because he's blinking heavily right now.
Yeah, that's something that's not taken too kindly. It's really hard and really nerve-wracking to race around someone you can't see, and the chance of them popping up right in front of you, that's not a risk that, especially now with Bryan Barnes, the points leader behind you, that's not a situation that Barnes is willing to take too many risks in.
As Tate Lightly is trying to reel Bentley Glazer back in, but Glazer himself starting to reel in Chad Barker and that front pack. So as Marty Ray moves his way back to the lead there, Frank.
Yep, Marty Ray right to the inside.
Crossover by Hollingsworth.
It's been a long day, pardon me. As now Hollingsworth goes to the inside, Beltrami had a little bit of a wiggle there, sort of pushed him up. Was able to hold it down and keep it off of Ray. They're still side by side for second.
They are, and Chad Barker right there, Bentley Glazer right there, Tate Lightly right there, Jeff Schmeier right there, Bryan Barnes is there, and Nick Kuhn is up there as well. He's up into P9 now. Oh, big wreck! Big wreck, and it's Bentley Glazer, and it's Chad Barker. Big crash there between the 87 and the 26, and it started with Bob Beltrami, who went off himself. It looked like, and I'm going to try and go back and find this, because Beltrami...
That's, from what I could see, now we did mention Beltrami, oh no, that's the 26 coming down into the 15.
Beltrami
26 came down.
Oh, that is sickening.
26 came down into the 14 and then just shot right back up the track. And Bentley Glazer, unfortunately, was left holding the bags there.
On board with Chad Barker as this incident happened, and there's a reason why he's up in the air, because underneath Chad Barker's truck is Bentley Glazer's truck. And we're going to go back from Bentley Glazer's point of view, because as a driver, this is not what you want to see happen.
Typically.
But thankfully, the cockpit was facing the right way. If he was facing the other way, he would have wheels in his windshield right now.
Yep, and you could clearly see the 26 move down onto the 14 and then just bounce right back off. That's the 26 thinking he had more room than he actually had.
Yeah, and he's had to tow that, I think. So unfortunate there for Chad Barker. As we got Hollingsworth bringing everybody down to pit road. Carl Burke will get his lucky dog here as well.
Hollingsworth might have an issue here, because David Weaver was coming out of his pit box and Hollingsworth had to slow way down. Now he's still going to win the race off pit road, but that was Beltrami's actually going to overtake Marty Ray in the pits.
Yep, so Marty Ray losing out there. Oh, Beltrami called for speed in. He's going to the back.
There you go. That's how he beat Marty Ray out.
Yeah.
And did you happen to notice Tate Lightly in the 56 getting any damage in that, or am I
didn't see it.
Well, he's called it an evening here tonight.
I mean, you can't say he's left because there's too many cautions, because this is only the third caution of the night and we're just going up past halfway, so can't really say it's that.
Trying to see what happens to him here.
Big upset for Beltrami though. He's having to go all the way to the back of the field here.
Yep, and that's the exact same situation that Bryan Barnes had to deal with earlier in the night. So now Beltrami, sitting in second at points now, is stuck in that position.
That he is, as he's going to be letting more trucks go around, and that's the 29 there of Anthony Erskine, who's 2 laps down, unfortunately for him. Carl Burke back on the lead lap now. You can see him right there just coming down the backstretch. I believe he's just been down pit road, so he'll be on the freshest tyres out of everybody. But Just like Bob Beltrami, he's going to have to start at the back of the field here.
Yeah, I think something not iRacing related is why because Lightly just pulled off under caution and just towed it back to the pit lane, so that could explain why.
I mean,
now that's not confirmed, but that's kind of what it looked like.
When real life gets in the way, then there's nothing you can do.
Exactly right. And we saw that with
Chris Walker?
Yep, Chris Walker in the opening race for SRE.
Well, that was a health issue for himself. He wasn't feeling too well, so he decided to pull off and just call it there. So
personal issue still.
Yeah. But anyway, Frank, it's your turn to get us going again.
Coming through 3 and 4, Hollingsworth leading Marty Ray. Jeff Schmeier has moved into the 3rd position, and Bryan Barnes up to 4th. Earl Weaver still sitting up in the top 5. Really nice to see Earl Weaver up there. Pace truck is off. Hollingsworth will lead them down. And we are racing once again at Michigan as Hollingsworth starts to pull away a little bit, leaving Ray the gap between himself and Schmeier.
Yeah, and obviously this being a 2-mile track, the cautions don't usually take that long of another, usually about 3 or 4 laps during the caution, so not too bad for everybody else. They don't have to keep pacing around for ridiculous amount of times like they did previously, so good to see that happening. But they come down the backstretch here. Schmeier still having those problems. Bryan Barnes in P4. Rob Gall has completely done Earl Weaver on that restart, as has Ron Holyfield, as they are 5th and 6th respectively.
As now Schmeier takes over that 2nd spot away from Marty Ray with the benefit of the inside line. As you see that number 7 of Ron Holyfield, he's made his way. He's working on that top 5 spot with Rob Gall there in the 31, and Barnes having a little bit of an adventure as far as racing line goes through 1 and 2.
Yeah, we see Earl Weaver and Ryan Kuhn, Nick Kuhn, battle down right behind him, and Kuhn going to have the advantage on the outside line. Earl Weaver going to try and come back at him, but it looks like that outside run is starting to be where you want to be when you go through the corners now.
You get that momentum off. It's not necessarily the better line, it's just you get that momentum and you get that run off as Jeff Schmeier darts to the bottom of the racetrack to try to take the lead away from Jeff Hollingsworth, and he will do it successfully. Going on to the back straightaway, can he clear him? No, that momentum staying wound up keeps Hollingsworth up in the lead.
But for how long? Because here comes Marty Ray as well. Marty Ray having his progress blocked there by Hollingsworth as he comes in 3 and 4. And Hollingsworth taking a very wide line coming down towards the tri-oval. Now, will that help Marty Ray get around Schmeier and cross him over? Now, we've seen it done in the past. Marty Ray does not take that option. Now he does. Oh, I would have done that a bit sooner, though.
It's still a little early to show all the moves that you could possibly make, but Schmeier now finding his way back in line, and that outside line, to what you were saying before, being where you want to be, you can keep that truck wound up so much better on the outside lane. These trucks, wow, Barnes just had a moment there as Schmeier disappears. Now that could be serious trouble for Bryan Barnes, because if he gets a run and Schmeier lags out, there's no telling if Schmeier and Barnes if Schmeier pops back in and Barnes is inside his car, there's both of those cars wrecked.
That's exactly true as they come through 3 and 4. Now I'm gonna point this out, and I'm gonna point this out very quickly. He restarted back in P22. He's already up to P14, Frank. That's Bob Beltrami.
Yeah, and that's also very little care on the tires, I would have to assume, to make your way up through the field that well. And he's got Bentley Blazer right in tow, and about a 3-second gap to the back of that front group we were just paying attention to. Beltrami and Glazer, two very quick guys leading that second pack.
And you can tell that by the way they're pushing each other. Glazer is pushing the living daylights out of that 14 as they're going towards turn 3. But back at the front, it's Jeff Hollingsworth leading this thing as they come through the tri-oval, sorry. Schmeier on the outside. Bryan Barns up to second place now. And who'd have thought this at the start of the race?
Yeah, no, Barnes has had enough of sitting behind the 22, and you can see everybody who has a shot at winning this race leaving the 22 out, and he honestly has to expect it with it being so just inconsistent as to where he could possibly be on the track. And you can see passing him and going through the tri-oval. Barnes is leaving him about a city bus length's worth of room.
Rob Gall right up there as well, right behind Barnes. Marty Ray starting to fall backwards as Ron Holyfield to his outside. Now, could this be some strategy by the 65 here as we go off on another fuel run?
It very well could be. He might have learned something on that last fuel run. Burned the tires off maybe a little too much. Trying to save up just a little bit in that 65. If we do get a long run, it's borderline as to whether or not some guys can make it. 65 is probably trying to assure himself that he can.
Absolutely, as they come out of turn 4 again, we're still looking at Marty Ray there. He's got Bryan Barnes to his inside now, so Marty Ray still using that outside line to his advantage here. I think he's the only driver that I've seen tonight that's actually used that outside line to his advantage, so good on the 65, but he's going to try the inside line now as he looks to get around Rob Gall. As Schmeier still trying everything he can to try and at least get up to the back of Jeff Hollingsworth.
Yeah, Schmeier and Hollingsworth are very, very similar on pace. And the bottom line, it's great for corner entry. It's not good at all for corner exit. As you can just see the runs that the guys on the outside line are getting. They're able to clear their counterparts on the inside line about halfway down the straightaway. That outside line is where you want to be on exit. You can defend really, really well up there.
Yeah, as Hollingsworth going to lead them down out of turn 2. We are less than 30 laps to go now as, Schmeier.
Yeah, Marty. Yep. Marty Ray trying to squeeze into the gap that he was hoping was there.
Unfortunately, not going to happen there. Notice another driver snuck his way up there, and that's the 11 of Dennis Fuson. Remember, he's 4th in points, so...
It's Gall in the 7 of Holyfield. Holyfield's...
No caution.
No, he stopped it. He's slowly rolling
we are under caution.
On pit exit, and that might have been the reason.
Go back and take a look at this. Gall just came right down the track and into the side of the 7.
Yeah, he did. And unfortunately for the 7, the 7 never stopped per se, so slow car on track. He might have gotten an awkward bump. He being the 31 pronouns pal. Rob Gall might have gotten a bump from Bryan Barnes that turned him down there because that was a very quick move.
Yeah, it is very difficult to bump draft in these things. I mean, especially if you're driving the F-150, the nose on the Ford F-150. We're going to take a look at Marty Ray, and we're going to get an example here. The nose compared to the Chevrolet and the Toyota is very different on the Ford F-150. You see, on the Chevrolet and the Toyota, the nose is flat, whereas the nose is a bit pointed on the Ford.
Yeah, the Ford is, and that's exactly what sent him around. Again, he being Rob Gall. Barnes just gave him a shot in that right rear corner and sent him right down the track into the 7. So that was a hard bump draft that sent him around.
Yeah, as lap 55, we're under caution once again here on at Michigan for Western States, and it's going to be Jeff Hollingsworth that's going to lead them down to pit road once again. Everybody going to come down with him, it looks like. So it's wholesale pit stops here this time around. Just got to be. They've just got to be thankful that they don't have limited tire sets in this league.
Yeah, no, they've had their fair share of chances. And once again, man, Marty Ray takes it very close to the pit wall in the box. As now the race is off pit road here.
As Jeff Schmeier in his pit box, Bentley Glazer in his pit box, but it's going to be Hollingsworth, followed by Ray, followed by Nick Kuhn up to third place. That's a big move for him.
Yeah, Jeff Schmeier stayed in his box for quite some time. Not sure as to why.
Maybe try and fix a couple of things because of his connection.
Possibly, could be it. But that's going to put that 22 back behind Ray Fournier in the the 026.
He's just taking his lucky duck, by the way. I think it was Fournier. I could be wrong.
No, Fournier was on the lead lap. That would
it
be
must be Dustin Burns, is it?
No, I think it was Carl Burke that took the lucky dog there.
That was on the previous caution. Let me look through my session events. Because I'm pretty sure it's Craig, but I'm pretty sure it's Burns.
Anthony Erskine has gone 2 laps down. He's gone another lap down from the one he was previously. Barry Phil is a lap down now. Bob Beltrami cycles out into 11th position after that. Keith Hofty in the 84. Started in 28th, is now up to 8th.
That he is. And the
on to 7th.
That's the first time in a long time that I've seen spam on a truck.
And no gel either.
I know, right? So here we go. Lights are off on the pace truck. We're ready to go once again after the 4th caution of the night here. And the caution coming out because of danger on the track because of Ron Holyfield being slowed down on the apron after that contact with Rob Gall. Gall's still up there in P5, so he's going to be hoping that he has no more incidents like that for the rest of the race. Wayne Hutchison is up into P6, Dennis Fuson in P7, Bentley Glazer and Bob Beltrami back up in the top 10 already.
Yeah, those guys have found their way up, and most of that because of driving. Because we're going to be restarting here with, 23 laps to go?
Yeah.
As already Hollingsworth with a big jump off the restart leaves both Kuhn and Ray in the dust.
Yeah, it does, as we are back racing again, going towards turn 1, and Hollingsworth is up there. Marty Ray into 2nd place, and Kuhn did well to get up to that 3rd spot through the pit stops, but doesn't seem to be... It doesn't look that comfortable being up there.
He's doing okay. Did not have a great restart, but after getting out of that restart phase and going into turn 1, really put the attack on. He's fighting Hollingsworth now for 2nd as Marty Ray was able to take it before going onto the backstretch.
Now Kuhn going very deep through the triangle, and that's like Hollingsworth back on the outside of the 19 as they go flying towards turn 1. Bryan Barns is right there as well. Wayne Hutchison up to the top 5 now. Good run for him. I've said that already. Last time I said it, you got wrecked, so I apologise if you do get wrecked again, Wayne. I apologise. Bentley Glazer up to P7. Charlie Woods is back up to P8. Dennis Fuson in P9. Give that to Keith Hofty, actually, as they're fighting out for that 9th spot there, Frank.
Yeah, Bentley Glazer restarted, I think it was 12th. And Beltrami starting 11th. Beltrami still in 11th. Meanwhile, Glazer has fought his way up to 7th in just a couple laps. They're 3 wide for the race lead here.
Yeah, and I take back everything I said about Nick Kuhn being uncomfortable being up there, because he's just made that one hell of a power move to get to the front now, and he's side by side with Jeff Hollingsworth coming out of turn 2, and here comes Marty Ray again with that big power move there, and Bryan Barns trying to make a claim for the lead as well, as things are starting to heat up now as we're coming to 20 laps to go with the line.
Yeah, that 19 took a big dive into turn 1 and wiggled quite a bit. Killed all of his momentum as they're 3 wide now for third. With Barnes on the outside, Kuhn in the middle, Bentley Glazer on the inside of that 3 wide. And boy, Barnes carried a ton of momentum off of 4. He's to the outside of Ray for second.
That he is as they come out of turn 2 again. Like I said, 20 laps to go here. And you can see the impatience starting to creep in amongst certain drivers in this pack now, as the anticipation for a good finish here is creeping higher and higher, as we've got drivers all the way back to, I believe that's Earl Weaver back in P14 in the running to try and take the P15, sorry, in the running to try and take a shot at going to the front here.
Yeah, this is what I said with these cars in this package. You really can't break away from people with how wide open and how wide this track is. It's darn near impossible, and how important a role draft plays in a track like this. You're seeing everything we expected coming into this race playing out right in front of you right now.
Yeah, as Carl Burke is starting to catch up to this lead pack, as well as he's got Ray Fournier and Eric Woods right behind him as well. David Weaver is right there as well. Ron Holyfield recovering back there in P21. Keith Kalman, Ron Holyfield in P20, sorry. Keith Kalman in P21. Dustin Burns, P22, and Dan Stussy, last driver on the lead lap, is in P23, some way ahead of Barry Phil. But they go back to the front here. Bryan Barnes still trying to find his way around Marty Ray here.
Yeah, Marty Ray is just trying his best to find a way. Look at Wayne Hutchinson to the outside of the 19 of Nick Kuhn. And that outside line, you're right, that lane has moved up the track all race long, as now Ray goes to the inside for the lead. He's going to make a big dive into one and most likely clear Hollingsworth. Wow, Hollingsworth gave him no room.
Yeah, that was very, very close, as Barnes almost gets into the side of Hollingsworth as well.
3 wide for second with the points leader right in the middle of it. That's sure a little nerve-wracking for one of those drivers.
Yeah, here comes Hutchison again, taking a very deep line on it with Bentley Glazer, who's outside Glazer, up to P4 now.
A big power run from the 97 of Hollingsworth, able to draw even with Marty Ray. And that 4 of Barnes still hanging on. Hutchinson there as well. Right behind Hutchinson is Beltrami, who's worked his way all the way back up into the top 10. A lot of moving, a lot of shaking going on right now, and it's all the way back to the 16 of David Weaver, who occupies the 19th position.
Yeah, and then you're going back another 2.5 seconds to Ron Holyfield, who's in P20. But at the front, it's getting very wild at the front here. It was almost 3 wide there for, I believe that was P6. Wayne Hutchinson back there. Beltrami trying to find his way by, and Rob Gall is up there as well.
And you can just see in every single corner, once you get the long shot of the corner, all of these guys are fanning out, using every inch of this wide track that they can find. As, boy, a drag race between Barnes and Ray up here at the front. Barnes, the biggest problem for Barnes is right now, he has no room to get in front of Ray to clear him. If he gets it clear, he can't get in behind the 97, which just allows the 65 to get that run right back and clear him back.
That's absolutely true as they come through 1 and 2, and Jeff Hollingsworth is the man in the lead of this formation as Barnes and Ray almost come to blows there coming through turn 2. These guys are
from Glazer.
Yeah, they're leaving nothing on the table right now.
really, really close. We got 14 laps to go. Coming to 13 at the line. This is getting really close, really tense. Something big is fixing to happen here.
Yeah, and we haven't seen the big one yet, so that could happen still. As I've just noticed Carl Burke is slowly creeping his way forward as well. He's caught this lead pack as well now.
I was just going to say, I saw that powder blue number 53 coming out of 4, and I was going to bring him up, but you beat me to it. Oh, there goes Marty Ray in the 65.
And Bryan Barns! Bryan Barns gets away with it again, hits absolutely nothing. Wayne Hutchinson going for the grasses. We're under caution once again. Marty Ray none of them hit anything. How is that possible?
No, Hutchinson. No, Barnes is going to need a fast repair, I think. Hutchinson hit him hard. That number 28. That was trying to see who moved on who there. 65 is on the outside lane. Barnes is still there.
Nick Kuhn going for a ride. Sorry.
No, it just, Barnes moved up just ever so slightly, and then after the caution came out and Barnes reacted to himself moving up the track, got hit by Nick Kuhn, and that's what sent Kuhn and Hutchinson around.
I'll go back and look at it right now. You could say it's a bit of instant karma there for Bryan Barnes.
Instant karma is a racing deal, but he got hit hard. He got hit hard by Hutchinson. I would not be surprised if he was faster here. But with less than 10 laps to go, I mean, he's going to have to if he wants to maintain position.
Well, we still have 12 laps to go. We're going to be 11 at the line.
We'll have less than 10 of green flag racing.
Oh, yeah. Semantics. Yeah, Barry Phil back on the lead lap now, so he's going to be in contention as well. And when I say he's going to be in contention, everybody that's been on the lead lap here tonight, Frank, has been in contention here tonight.
Yeah, he has, and I was right on that. As the 4 of Barnes has used his fast repair, so he's got a brand new car. He's going to come out ahead of Earl Weaver as Schmeier continues to sit in pit lane, so Schmeier falling to the back again.
Big strategy call for David Wood. He has only taken fuel for this pit stop. That might hurt him.
I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, but less than 10 laps to go.
You go back to earlier in the race, the 2 tires on Carl Burke. He spun it going through 3.
Yeah, true.
That right there scared anybody off of taking 2 tires, and I don't think Charles Woods in the 40 even came into pit.
Oh, he did.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Did he? 1 second.
I don't think.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. It's got a 0 next to his stint, so yeah, he has. But he only took fuel as well. 9 seconds. Is that fuel or just 2 tires?
No, that might be fuel and 2 tires.
Might be 2 tires then. So Woods and Charles Woods and David Wood only taking 2 tires on that one. So that it's a tough call. I mean, less than 10 laps to go when we go back to grid. It's going to be a very tough call.
For me, after seeing what happened with Carl Burke, that would have scared me off of 2 tires right there.
Yeah, but that was with plenty of laps to go. This is a less than 10 lap situation. It might work in their favor if they defend well enough. That's the other thing that you got to throw into it.
And if they can make it around a lap.
True.
So we'll have 9 to go when we take the green flag here. Bryan Barnes comes out in 11th position, by the way. Beltrami's up to 5th after his issues. So we might see the point lead switch hands here.
So when we go back to green here, and I've always wanted to say this, Katie bar the door.
Oh boy. we saw how crazy and wild it got with 15 to go. We're getting down to the money now. This is wild.
Yeah, I actually don't know what that saying means, by the way, when they say Katie by the door.
Well, there you go. As you do.
I've just heard you guys say it before, so you know. Pace truck is off as Charles Woods gets us going again. We're back racing again for 9 laps. It's a 9-lap shootout here, unless we go to green white checkers, but it's going to be Charles Woods leading down to turn 1, and David Wood just gets absolutely swamped on that restart there.
Yeah, I've said it before, I've said it once, I've said it a million times. You cannot see on that outside line where the leader goes until it's too late. As Hollingsworth takes a big swing from the outside to the inside, looking for the lead from Charles Woods, and Bob Beltrami following him right through. As the 7 of Hollenfield just had a big slide and was able to hold it.
Good save there by the 7, stacks the field up, and everybody makes it around very safely as we go back to the lead battle here. Bob Beltrami with the inside line. Worth noting that Beltrami restarted in P5 and then now fighting for the lead here. Rob Gall up there. Dennis Fuson looking for his first race win of the season in the mix, as well as the usual suspects. Bentley Glazer up there as well. Carl Berg, who took 4 tyres last time around, is in that mix as well. So still all to play for, and we've only got 8 laps left of this thing.
One thing we didn't mention as we up in that group is the 4 of Bryan Barns, as his biggest rival in the point standings just took the lead. The 14 of Beltrami leads that lap. Coming out of 4, we've only got 7 laps to go. We're not done seeing passes for the lead here, but this is not looking good for Barnes' points lead.
Absolutely not, as they come out of turn 2, and still everybody jockeying for position here. You see Jeff Hollingsworth still trying to power around that outside line. Dennis Fuson, I just said he's looking for his first race win of the season, and now look at him, right up there in 3rd place ahead of Rob Gall, who's up to 4th now as well.
I'm surprised Beltrami is. Wow, Fuson made a power move with a big run out of 4. He led the lap.
Yes, he did by a nose. And Fuson going to slide up in front of Beltrami and will take the overall lead here. Coming through 1 and 2. Fuson with 6 laps to go, now 5.5 laps to go, leads this piece as they come flying down the backstretch.
And drafting partners galore right behind him as that's Gall pushing the 97 right into the corner, as Bryan Barns has not been able to make up that gap that he needs to make up. But fortunately, the 14 isn't in the lead anymore. 97 Hollingsworth leads that lap, 5 to go.
Yeah, Hollingsworth going to try to pile move on the outside there, doesn't quite get it done there, as Fuson still holding strong down by that yellow line. Beltrami is currently scored in P4. Rob Gall on the outside is scored in P3, but there is Bentley Glazer. There is Carl Burke as well. Don't count that man in the 53 out either.
Yeah, no, took a faster there earlier on, got caught a lap down. He's gotten right back up here, and boy, Hollingsworth with a big swipe at the 11, and dead heat. Give it to Hollingsworth, though.
4 laps to go here at Michigan.
Hollingsworth is trying to do everything he can to force that 11 into a mistake, and now Beltrami has gotten under the 11. There goes Fuson.
Oh, and this is going to bring out the green-white checkered. And it's going to be Beltrami that's going to lead this thing as the caution comes out. We're going to go back and see what happened to Fuson here. And Fuson, heartbreak for him.
That's him trying to clear himself off the front end of the 97, and Hollingsworth wasn't backing off. A lot of guys involved in this one. Carl Burke just misses it. The 40's in it. The 46, 27, 84. Marty Ray in the 65 involved.
Gonna get another look at this incident between Fuson and Hollingsworth. I see it right. I'm gonna go back 5 seconds because my cameras are playing up for me tonight. As there it is, Fuson was not clear. As Charles Woods gets into it, David Woods gets into it. Yeah, Hovde gets caught up in it as well. And that was the big one that I was talking about.
Looking at it from that view that I just had, it's hard to say. That it looked like Fuson moved up just ever so slightly, but Hollingsworth had a run and he wasn't giving it up.
And all it was a simple turn from Hollingsworth to Fuson, so damage is going to be very minimal for the 97. As Wayne Fleet gets away to gets a lucky dog.
And unfortunately, Fuson had used his fast repair earlier on in the race, so that's pretty much game, set, match for the number 11.
So Beltrami finding himself in the lead here. And Bryan Barnes capitalising from that. He's now up to P8 now, Frank. This is an opportunity for the championship leader to try and conserve that championship lead he has.
Doesn't help, though, when number 2 is sitting in P1.
Yeah.
Just 7 points behind. So he's... Bryan Barnes, there's still 6 races left, and next week is going to be a very good race in Dover. So there's still time for this championship to flip-flop around. It's just you can't really let it get too out of hand. Time is quickly running out.
Yeah, and Jeff Schmeier still having those connection issues coming through 3 and 4 as we're seeing the field just getting back into the swing of things. The lights should go off on the pace truck this time by, and they do. So we will get them going once again, Frank, for potentially the final time tonight. I'm going to give it to you. You can get us restarted again.
Thank you very much. As just before we really get this going, if you guys are enjoying the race here tonight, I believe there's 4 links down in the description below to our website, our Facebook page, our Twitter page, and to our Teespring store. On Teespring store, you can also go. You can also access our Teespring store on our website at www.espnofficial.com, where we try to keep everything as up to date as possible.
Well, you do.
All series, yeah. Well, I try. As
don't forget there was another broadcast on this evening as well. There was more truck. Tuesday night is not truck night, by the way.
Tuesday night truck.
Yep. Yeah, we had.
I just flipped over to that race at some point during one of these cautions, and it had just ended. I didn't see one.
Yeah, so that was the Trucks Series making its debut here tonight. So if you want to go back and watch that, make sure you check that one out. Give it a good like if you enjoy it. But here we go, Frank. Let's get us re-going.
Yep, pace truck is off. Beltrami gets a good jump. We are back racing. Green, white, checkered on the way. And boy, oh boy, Gall got a horrid start, pushing Bentley Glazer right back. And that's going to leave Carl Burke up into 3rd position now, battling, trying to catch back up to the 14 of Beltrami.
Yeah, Burke looking to the outside of Hollingsworth, and these two have raced alongside each other a lot in the past, and it's going to be Burke. Look at Burke!
Schmeier had an otherworldly run as well, and Carl Burke, you're right, has gone right to the lead. He was a lap down at one point here tonight.
As they come to collect the white flag here, Carl Burke is going to lead them down towards turn one. Jeff Schmeier now up to second place now. What's happened to Hollingsworth? Hollingsworth has fallen all the way back to P5, so maybe he is carrying some damage here, Frank.
Yeah, Beltrami's fallen back as well. Look who's on the inside of him. It's the 4 of Barnes. As Carl Burke tries to cover off that inside lane, Schmeier on the outside.
Surely not again.
Going into 3. It's going to be a drag race, boys.
And Schmeier making a late race run, but it's Carl Burke going to lead them out of turn 4. Burke all the way down to the line, and for VSM Racing, Carl Burke will cross the line and will claim victory here at Michigan. Schmeier tried to steal it at the end again, but was just not close enough, and Bryan Barns will conserve his points lead and will finish in third place. What a final run, and what a win for Carl Burke.
3/1000ths of a second. I think it was 6/1000ths of a second. Last time out at Pocono 2 weeks ago, Schmeier comes out the better. This time, not so much. But right there, that is a championship caliber drive from the 4 of Bryan Barns to restart in 8th position on that final restart and to come home in 3rd. What a drive from the 4 of Barnes.
And Carl Burke picking up his first race win of the season. Great run from him. Obviously, he's my teammate, but I'm trying not to be too impartial.
Well, I'll let you be impartial on this interview, though. You can take this one.
if he comes on to TeamSpeak, there he is. If he comes into Discord, but let's go through the finishing order while we're waiting for people to come into Discord here. Carl Burke, your winner here. Jeff Schmeier tried it again and lost it by 4/1000ths of a second this time. God. I said it was going to be close. Bryan Barnes in third, Bentner Glazer in fourth, Bob Beltrami in the top 5, Gary LaViolette in P6. Where did that one come from?
No idea. Started 26th.
Yeah. Jeff Hollingsworth in P7, 8th going to David Weather, 9th. Despite his troubles, Ron Hollyford and Barry Phil coming from a lap down and getting the top 10 here.
Strong.
Wow. As we are going to find Carl Burke now and bring him up to the booth and picking up his first race win of the season. Carl, you joined the new team about a month ago, and you've just picked up the first win for that team. But more importantly, your first race win in Western States. You've got to be very happy.
Yeah, it's been a while coming, and I didn't think I was going to get there tonight.
Yeah, but you certainly did get there. A big power move on that last restart, just sailing by the opposition and moving your way to the front. But Jeff Schmeier was coming at the end there. You beat him by just 4/1000ths of a second. Were you worried you were going to lose it at that point then?
Oh yeah, I thought he had it. It was that close. He was really coming because he got the momentum coming off 4, and I was keeping it low, and so it cut some of my momentum out, and it was real close.
Yeah, and picking up your first race win of the season here, Carl. This is going to really boost your momentum as we get closer to the end of the season. What's this going to do for you as the season progresses now?
Well, should put me somewhere in the hunt in the points. It was a big boost because had some bad races, but we should onward and forward.
Absolutely. And looking ahead to next week, we are off to Dover in Delaware. Bit of a shorter track, but still a very fast track. What are your thoughts going into that one?
I really like Dover, but it's going to be tight racing, so it just depends. If we can get less guys blinking, maybe it would help a little bit.
Yeah, there were a lot of problems here in the server tonight with various drivers, but congratulations on the big win here tonight. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before I let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank ESPN for being here for us and sponsoring me, and our team. Now I can't even remember. I'm spacing it. VSM, right?
Yeah, that's our team.
Well, I'm fairly new to it, and I usually don't have to talk. But yeah, I just want to thank all you guys for your support and having some faith in me.
No problem. Well, Carl, big congratulations for your win here tonight. Well deserved. And yeah, we'll let you go away and celebrate it. Congratulations one more time. We'll see you next week at Dover.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
So that was Carl Burke joining us in the booth. Now we're going to go to the man that nearly stole it again here tonight. That will be Mr. Jeff Schmeier. Frank, you got him with you there?
Yes, I do. Jeff Schmeier, 6 1,000ths of a second to the good last week. 3 1,000ths of a second not to the good this week. What a close finish here tonight again.
Oh, I know. I was amazed that I was even up there to even try it.
Now, we saw you have a plethora of connection issues throughout the night. With this track being so dependent on drafting, did you think that really affected your race tonight?
It probably affected everyone else a lot more than I did. I mean, my teammates told me I was blinking a little bit, but I mean, no one else told me that I was going in and out a whole lot. But on my screen, everything was fine. So I mean, for me, the race was pretty fine.
Well, you'll see a completely different race on the broadcast tonight.
Oh, really?
Yes, you will. You had a great run that got you up into that position to where you were fighting for the lead during that green-white checkered. What was it about, especially coming off of 2 for you all night long, that was able to propel you into getting such great runs?
For turns 1 and 2, I tried to stay high. If you went too low, then you didn't really get a good bite off the turn. So I really just tried to stay high in 1 and 2, and then in turn 3 and 4, you can go low, which gets you a good run down the straights or down the front straight. But yeah, kind of arcing the corner in 1 and 2 seemed to work for me.
Going into a completely different style of track next week, just 1 mile track at Dover. What are your thoughts going into the Monster Mile next week?
Dover, I like racing Dover a lot. I mean, I think I came in second last time we were there, behind Bryan. That one's just about saving your tires, so if, I just got to make sure to practice to save my tires there.
All right. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, my girlfriend Beth. She stayed up and watched it. My mom and dad, love you guys. My sister, love you. And my team.
All right. There's your second place finisher tonight, Jeff Schmeier. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that was Jeff Schmeier joining us in the booth from second place, just 4 1,000ths of a second separating first and second here tonight. But here comes the man that finished in third place and somehow still holds on to his points lead. Bryan Barns, very much a roller coaster race for you here tonight, but still able to come back and pull off a third place finish. Got to be happy with that in the end?
Super happy with that because, yeah, like you say, a roller coaster, front, back.
Yeah,
it was a hell of a race.
It was a hell of a run, and it looked at one point that you were gonna have to give up your points lead here tonight with you falling all the way to the back of the field, not once, but twice here tonight. It just really was on a knife edge for you here tonight.
Yeah, I do got to apologize to Marty Ray on that lap 68 incident. I was trying to hold those outside guys as high as I could, but apparently I hooked them, and so I owe him one. But big grats to two-tire Carl, man. Nice job, buddy.
Yeah, definitely. Well fought race from everybody here tonight. But looking at yourself, from what I've been told, you're going for your third championship in a row. It looks like you're being really challenged for this one this year. Do you reckon you can pull it off as we get close to the end of the season?
I tell you, the competition keeps ramping up with these guys. It's been a really fun season, and it just keeps harder and harder and harder. So I'm going to give it my all, but I know Bob is trying his best to close the gap too. So.
Absolutely, and next week things get a bit more difficult as we head to the Monster Mile, Dover in Delaware. What are your thoughts going into that one? It's going to be a bit more difficult with the shorter variation.
Yeah, and I used to 5 years ago. It seemed like I had a handle on that place, and I've fallen off it. So we got to figure it out again, and hopefully have a good run next week.
All right, Brian, and before I let you go and celebrate your third place, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to Bob Beltrami and the WSRL group, man. It's the best on iRacing.
All right, well, that's Bryan Barns in the number 4 Hall of Fame F-150 coming up in third place. Congratulations for yourself, and we'll see you next week when we head to the Monster Mile. So that was third place driver Bryan Barns, and as I think I guessed it correctly. If this race was a roller coaster for Bryan Barns, he'd have been on the beast here tonight, because that was a big up and down race for himself.
Yeah, and the top guys in the points, talking about Barnes and Bob Beltrami, had his issues. Also finished in the top 5 after getting that speeding penalty. So it wasn't an easy ride for either one of the top 2, and unfortunately guys like Marty Ray and Dennis Fuson getting involved in that late race wreck that put them all the way at the back of the lead lap finishing cars. But still a fantastic race from Barnes, and again to restart from 8th position on that green-white checkered and just power his way up to 3rd was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and thoughts going out to Jeff Hollingsworth there. He must have got some damage from that collision with Dennis Fuson that put him back down to P7. So very unfortunate for Hollingsworth. He was looking very strong here tonight. Same for Bentley Glazer. He was looking very strong too. Some surprises in the top 10 as well. Obviously, Carl Burke picking up the win here tonight. Gary LaViolette picking up P6, and Barry Phil coming home in the top 10 as well. So lots of different drivers in that top 10 here tonight. But before we do anything else and bring up the results here tonight, before we go anywhere else tonight, let's bring you the results for tonight's race. And coming home with the win here tonight was Carl Burke, stealing the race win by 4 1,000ths of a second over Jeff Schmeier, who finished in 2nd. Bryan Barns coming home in P3, 4th going to Bentley Glazer. Bob Beltrami rounding out your top 5. P6 going to Gary LaViolette, 7th going to Jeff Hollingsworth, 8th to David Weaver, 9th to Ron Holyfield, and Barry Phil rounding out your top 10. In P11 was Ray Fournier, 12th was Dustin Burns, good result for him. 13th going to Keith Hovde on his debut here tonight, so good result for him. Keith Kelman in P14, P15 going to Rob Gall, and Eric Woods is in P16, Frank.
Yep, Dennis Fuson finishing out in P17, Wayne Hutchinson P18, Earl Weaver coming home in 19th, Marty Ray coming home in 20th, the final car on the lead lap. Wayne Fleet, the only car 1 lap down. 3 cars finishing 2 laps down. Anthony Erskine, David Wood, and Charles Woods. 5 laps down was Dan Stussy. Nick Kuhn finishing 14 laps down in 26th. Jeffrey
Schloss,
thank you, Sam. Coming home in 27th. Tate Lightly in 28th, Chad Barker 29th, Paul Hoffman 30th, Sean Signori 31st, and Brandon Sauls and Brian Sullivan not taking the start for this race here tonight.
So that is pretty much going to do it for us here tonight here on ESPN with the Western States Racing League. Do not forget, we had another broadcast on for you here tonight. That was with the Trucks series. That's TRUCS. But for now, that is going to do it for us here tonight. From myself, Sam Cooper Bennett, from Frank Marchese, we're going to say a big congratulations to Carl Bett for picking up his first win. But that is going to be it for us tonight. So all that's left for me to say is keep it clean, keep it green, and we will catch you live on tomorrow night, actually, with Sim Racers Edge as they go to Texas for round 3 of the season. Have a good night.